Good morning. So, we are doing the Uddhav Gita. We are doing a chapter which is very interesting. It is chapter 16, and we had completed till verse 23 yesterday. Just a small recap. Man has a habit of doing what is called as working for his own selfish benefits, and he believes that he is doing good to this world, not realizing that even if he is told that you are not on the path of spiritual, but you think that you are, he is not able to realize it. Today, we are going to take it further and understand how this comes about. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 16, the new verse 24. Men are from their very birth attached to sense objects, to things affecting their physical welfare, and to their relatives, all of which are but a source of danger to them. Men are attached, very highly attached from birth to sense objects and to things affecting their physical welfare and to their relatives, all of which are but a source of danger to them. Krishna is telling Uddhava that these are the things which you have to be very cautious about. First are about the things to which you get attached to right from birth. And the second one are your relatives, your own mother, father, your own brothers, sisters, friends, everybody who is around you. The attachment is so strong that it is the cause of their own ruin later on in life. Krishna is cautioning literally everybody over here. Now, when you are a child, what happens is your mother says, I am your mother, this is your father, whom do you love the most? And the child is at a dilemma. He says, what do I say? If I say my mother is the best, she loves me more, but my dad is going to get angry. And if I say this to dad, that dad, you are the best, my mom is going to get angry. How futile is it for the child, where he learns to understand and butter the bread which side it is on. See, he likes to butter the bread on both the sides. So when the mother is there, he will say, Mom, you are the greatest thing on planet Earth. And when he is there with dad, he will say, Dad, you are the greatest thing on planet Earth. Later on in life, as he grows, and in most of the household, you will find that men are going out to work. So his belief is mom is supposed to do housework and dad is supposed to go out and earn money. He has got a lot of friends. In his life, he gets attached to objects. What are those objects? A simple toy. Starting at childhood, he is in love with a toy. And that toy, even if he sees it when he is 30 and 40 years old, he'll say, oh, this is the toy I was playing with. And he will want to keep it with him. It could be just a teddy bear. And the teddy bear becomes a possession for that child. And later on, when he grows up, he will still go and look at the teddy bear. This is my attachment to my parents or whoever has given. As he grows elder, he becomes 8 and 10 years old. Then his friends enter the scene. And then he has friendship with everybody. This is my langotiyar, my childhood friend. And they swear by each other. And when they become 13 and 14 also, you can see them together almost all the time. Now, all these stories are moving towards the future. Please understand this. I'm just building up the story for you, for understanding. This is my school. I go to this school. I am from this great institution. And the attachment to school grows. The attachment to teacher grows. And later on, the child goes to college and then to a institution which is maybe he becomes an engineer, maybe he becomes a doctor or whatever. When he becomes an engineer or a doctor, he has got attachment to the institute that he is in. He becomes an MBA from a big institute. I am from the IIMs, I am from Harvard, I am from this, I am from that. Have you not heard people talk like this in most of their, big speeches that they make? This is the hallowed institution from where I learned. And believe me, this is what they say. And then there are the foolish people in the world who will say, this is the institution which did not allow me to come over here. And look at me. I am such a great person. I am talking over here. I am a multi-billionaire. This is another build-up. Wait for the whole story to unfold. By the time a person is around 23, 24 or whatever, they might be working for an organization, or they might have started their services, they might have become a doctor or whatever, and they have got into working mode. There, they don't find time for the school that they were talking about. They don't find time for other things which they were playing with. You remember that small toy which we were talking about? It's a memory. As they get married or about, they get into relationship with a woman, or a woman gets in relationship with a man. The moment they get into the relationship, the whole world behind disappears. They call it the bokeh effect. This is the bokeh effect in man, where he blanks out the entire surroundings. And the only thing is the main person over there, the beautiful woman he is in love with, and the job that he might be doing. What happened to all those childhood friends, teachers, school, mummy, daddy? Well, he is a mummy's boy still. He has to take care of his mother. This attachment goes on for many years. Now is the time to get married. And the moment the marriage happens, the world turns topsy-turvy. This world turns so topsy-turvy that very soon, within a year or two, he is a slave. Slave to working because he has a family to support. The same people, his own parents, becomes a burden to him. I have to run this house or I have to run that house. He feels it is a difficult thing to send money home. This is the same mother and the father who were saying, Whom do you love the most? Now he loves his wife and then his children the most. The money doesn't go. The parents might be sick, but he has time to go to his in-laws' place and everything. Now this is a story. Please understand. This is a build-up. In his own office where he started in a very big organization. Within 2 to 3 years, he realizes that he has been superseded by somebody else. Earlier he was reporting to one boss, now he is reporting to 10 bosses. He doesn't even know any direction. He doesn't have any direction. Which way to turn to? And he has to keep every boss happy, by the way. One boss says this is right, the other boss says that is right. And this boss says you have to do this, and that boss says you have to do this. So he has become a slave. I told you this. He is now slowly turning into a slave. He is a slave to his bosses and his company because his company is making him work. Earlier, when he was getting 50 and 60,000 rupees, he was feeling very nice about the whole issue. Now that 50, 60,000 rupees goes out of the window so fast, he cannot even imagine. He says, where did the money go? And he's in debt. His cards are overdrawn. Okay? He's taken loans. He wants to buy a house, isn't it? He's bought a house also. So the EMIs are pounding him. All these things are happening simultaneously. He wants to make more money. So he looks out for another job. He gets another job. They offer him 1.2 lakhs per month. Very good. In hand, he's getting around 8 only. But my salary was 1.2 lakhs. How is it that I'm getting only 8? Sir, there is another party over there called the government. They are going to take taxes. The more you earn, the more they are going to make money. Why are you bothered? You are actually working half your life for one government. That means you are a slave to them, number one. You are a slave to your wife, number two, because for her you have to keep the rest of the money and your family, and all those EMIs and the extra that you wanted to spend when she told you we have to go to Simla, Manali, this, that. Yes, I am sure. One day we went to Ooty. One day we went to Bali also. Who is going to spend that money? And then I have to take my child to school in a car. So you take a car. But the car is for your own use. What happens for the child? Now he's joined a fancy school. Remember, you have paid lakhs to make that child go into that school. Now all these money problems are there. So now you have bought a second car. Why? Second-hand car. Don't worry. It's a second-hand car. And your wife drives the child to school. The school is just 1 kilometer away. Okay? But no, you have to go in the car. You have to buy fancy laptops. Every year you have to change the phone. Yeah, company phone is different than your phone. Company laptop is different than your laptop. You require the best laptop in the world. And then suddenly out of the blue, your parents say, I have a very severe problem. Even if there is a tooth, a problem with the tooth, you have to spend 50,000 rupees just to do some kind of a nonsensical work on that. And then at that point you say, where the hell do you think I'm going to get that money from? These same parents have now become your enemies. Because every month you have to pay for their, those medical bills. Of course, your company pays little of it, but you have to pay the rest. And nowadays, to take them to the hospital, hospital because why? Sometimes you have to do dialysis also. Sometimes you have to take them for the heart. Sometimes you have to take them for cancer problems. Sometimes you have to do, how many things are there? They have blood pressure, they have this, they have that. And for every time, you have to come, you have to leave your work and you have to rush to their house. Why? They are sick, no? So the same people, very soon, by the time you are 30 and 40, have become a pain. Because the money is going in that direction. Your wife and children are asking for money. Your boss is sitting on your head. The bank is calling you. The card company says you have not paid last month. You have to pay extra. Your EMIs are mounting. By the time you are 40 and 45, your hair has turned white. And then you have started looking old. Old like a 70-year-old man. All because of what Krishna says. Attachment to sense objects. Attachment to buying a property. You are now paying EMI for the rest of your life. Let us say you were a smart Alec and you paid the EMI off for 5 years you paid, and then you paid them one lump sum, finished it off. The property belongs to you, of course. But your company gave you a transfer to London, sir. What happens to the property in India? Oh, I'm giving it out on rent. Pandemic times, the rents have become 1/10. Earlier, I used to get for my property, very beautiful property, 3,000 square feet. I used to get 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees. Now I am not even getting 50,000. The society is saying, we have to now paint the building. You have to pay more than 2.5 lakhs this year. Your money is going towards society payment charges, sir. So that same property which you have kept, and you are a 40-year-old, okay, 40 plus year old. That same property which you thought is my own, you are paying more to keep it floating, and the fellow who is staying in your house is literally destroying it. Everything in the house is destroyed. Why? Because you see, the people who stay in rent, no, they don't take care. This is what you say. So it has become from an asset to a liability, even if you are giving it out on rent. So I guess now you have got the clear solution over here in front of you. I should sell it. Well, if you sell it, what are the capital gains? What are the taxes that you got to pay? In your hand, you will be minus. You calculate the total plus the interest that you have paid to the bank plus the final amount that you paid. The total will come to around 1.5 crores, and you can only sell the property today in the market for 1 or 1.2 crores. Then what happens to your property? And in that 1.2 crores, because remember, when you signed that paper, no, you got the property for 25-30 lakhs only. Capital gains 1.2 crore minus that much amount. So, and then calculate how much you have to pay. So in that 1.2 crore also, you are going to pay 30 lakh rupees to the government, or 20 lakh rupees. I mean, you really wonder, what the hell did I do? Why did I buy this property? It has been a headache with me for the last 15 years now or 10 years now. Your children are ready for college. Dad, I want to go to the college over there, England or America. America college. How much does it cost? Nothing. It's only 70 lakh rupees per annum. 70 or 80 lakh rupees per annum. 70 lakh rupees per annum. 80 lakh. Where do I get that money from? How many years course is it? It's okay. I will work in McDonald's. Working in McDonald's, you're going to get 70 lakh rupees. The amount of money you will have to spend on your children's education after that, your white hairs have now started falling, by the way. You have become completely bald. This is the story, how it is going. The wife which you liked, when you were very young, 23, 24, 25, very beautiful woman. Now she does TikTok videos, by the way. And now TikTok is not there, no? So she's doing Instagram posting. You can see her dancing to all those Madhuri Dixit songs. Madhuri Dixit's figure and her figure is like, you know, one end to the other end. It should not become like a feminist kind of a thing. But please see, you go and see on those videos and you will understand what I'm talking about. The idea is the person is trying to become a young and you are literally becoming bald. This is the whole story. 20 minutes have gone in telling you the story. Now, do you want to know further than this? Your ruin is there. Absolutely. Remember, the same parents you are paying for all their whims and fancies. Now they have become old, they can't go out. They can't see in the small TV. See, the small TV has become too small. Can we have a 60, 70, 80 inches TV in our house? The power is gone, so I will just wait for one more minute and after that we will start. Okay? Now you can see, the power went. Why? Because these Krishna stories are so dangerous that you can see yourself in them. See, I have to blank out my face also for that reason. This seriousness of life strikes a person very hard, and nobody can understand that. The power is still not come. It's a very difficult thing, isn't it? Anyway, so we will just continue with our relatives. So the relatives who were very kind to you have now become a pain in the whatever, in your back. The same mother, father that you must so much, wanting to be loved and loving them have become your enemies. Your school friends, if you remember the school friends that you had, these school friends have disappeared because they are also in the same boat as you are. They also got married. They don't have time for anything. They are also wondering, where is the time for things? What am I going to do? So you don't meet. You meet them once in a while, and when you meet them, you just want to run away from them. Run away so fast that you don't want to be with them, because if that fellow says, chalo 5-star hotel mein, come on, let's go to a 5-star hotel, you are wondering who the hell is going to pay the bill. Did you get it? Who is going to pay the bill? So let us start again the story. So you heard me so far saying that the same parents, the same friends of yours, same relatives, the relatives who were literally on top of your head putting a gun against your head. Get married, get married, get married, get married, get married, get married. Tomorrow when you have come to the divorce, the point where you want to murder your wife and your wife wants to murder you. That point in time, these fellows disappear. The same people, the same parents who have thrust this woman on you, or the woman has, woman has been told, you have to get married to this fellow. And this guy is a pain in the... And the woman is like that. What do you do? So you like to blame the parents and the relatives and the whole jing bang lot that told you to get married. Actually, you were interested. You were interested in marriage. And the same people you are going to curse in the future. Why the hell did you get me married to this person? But you have to continue with that painful existence of yours. Because, divorce proceedings, very painful. Look at that poor fellow. Johnny Depp. He lost the case. And he lost the movie also. That beautiful movie where he was there, Harry Potter tha. You remember that movie? It's gone. The Beast movie. You don't have money to pay for anything. If you get into this kind of things, this is where the problem is. And Krishna is pointing it out to you. This is what happens to every human being. And this dream, happily ever after, never exists actually. Men are from their very birth attached to the sense objects. From the very birth, you have got attached to these sense objects, to things affecting their physical welfare. To things that affect their physical welfare. Physical welfare, you could lift weights earlier. Now you are around 35 only, and you have got a paunch, a tummy, and you can't lift anything. There was a time when you could have lift your spouse, Now you can't even do that. You can't lift your own children, by the way. So did you get the whole gist of it? Physical problems. Did I not tell you that you started drinking when you were in college only? Oh, I missed out. And that is an attachment. That's an object which you got attached to. When you were in college, little tipple, little, with friends, of course. And then by now it has become like a whole bottle, khamba. In Mumbai language, they call it khamba. Pura. And now you can't live without it. So every evening you need that. Or you might have started smoking. And now to continue with the smoking, you have to tell the world, you know what? Tension both hai. I got a lot of tension. My wife, my parents, my children. And by the way, every time it changes. First it was your parents, then it is a job, then it is your wife, then it is your children, then everything else in the world. Money matters. So you have to smoke, you have to drink, you have to smoke, you have to drink. Sometimes do drugs also. Why? That is the way out of it, isn't it? This is a sarcastic statement. Let me tell you this much. Krishna, do you think is talking straight over here? People don't understand Krishna's language. Krishna has a very strange way of talking. You should know this, and I will prove it to you in the next verse. Krishna's way of talking is so strange that he will encourage you to do things. He say, come on, be my guest. Be my guest. Of course, you should join this company. You should get married. You should settle down. That is the requirement of life. You should have a big family. Wow, that is what. You have to take care of your parents. You have to gather money. You have to put it in the bank. You have to buy fancy cars. Don't you see me? I have so many rathas. Rathas means at that time there were no BMWs and Mercedes Benz. They would have, all the fancy chariots, golden chariots. See, I've got so many wives, so many rathas, so many kingdoms, so many palaces. And like a foolish person, you get trapped into what he's saying. It's nothing. He's just telling you something which you thought was right. He's just pandering to you. In the Uddhav Gita and in the Bhagavad Gita, he literally is saying some words, but actually he's saying something completely different. So now we will try to understand. Now you have got caught in the material this web of what? Attachment to sense objects, which your own self you have put in the gutters. After that, to all your relatives, all your mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, this one, that one, everybody is put you into the gutters. Very nice. Now listen to this verse. It's a very important verse for every person, because every person misinterprets this. We are doing the Uddhav Gita, chapter 16, a dangerous verse now. Verse 25. How can the all-knowing Vedas again recommend sense enjoyments to people who, ignorant of their well-being, wander in the path of enjoyment only to enter into deeper gloom, and who submit to the guidance of the Vedas themselves? You see, it is written in the Vedas. You want enjoyment, prosperity. This is a word used over there. You want to become prosperous? You should pray to this God. You should do these homas, you should do these temple visits, you should go and pray to these gods. You have got problems in your life. The Navagrahas, go do this. You have problems associated with, the house which you are staying. You should go and do those prayers. It is written in the Vedas. It is written in the Vedas that you got to take care of your parents. Of course, it is written. Is it not written? You got a family. You are a grahastha. You are supposed to take care of your wife and children. You have to be a very good citizen in this world. It is written in the Vedas. Got it? Every problem in life. You have money problem. There is a prayer for that money problem. Lakshmi, you have to go and propitiate towards her and say, Lakshmi ji, please give me money. If you have problem with diseases, you should go and pray for those diseases. Go and do this puja, this one, that one. Do hundreds of things. How many things have I said? Quite a lot, isn't it? You want happiness in your old age? Of course. Happiness, joy, peace, love, understanding, all these are very fancy subjects. You want that peace and joy in your life? Do these prayers. All this is written, of course. And here is Krishna telling you that is not so. How can the all-knowing Vedas again recommend sense enjoyments? These Vedas, do you really think they are telling you that you should go and enjoy the senses? You wanted a properties for, then you went and prayed to so many gods. You wanted to get married. Don't you remember getting married and doing some mannat in some temple? Your mother has gone and put her, all those kind of mannat in temples. She has gone and even cut one murgi for that. She has done so many things. Your father, you don't know what all he has done. Your villagers, they have performed the pujas, so many of them, to bring prosperity to their village. Of course, you have to do all that. And here Krishna is saying, how? How can the all-knowing Vedas are all-knowing, they are the word of God. How can they recommend sense of enjoyment? Isn't this sense enjoyment? Getting married? Getting a good wife or a husband? Getting a house? Getting money? Peace, joy, prosperity, good health, happiness. All this is written in the Vedas. This is your interpretation. And Krishna is saying, how? How in the world do you think the Vedas are talking about this kind of sense enjoyment? Do you really think Vedas are stupid? They are the word of God. Isn't it? So here in this verse he says, how can the all-knowing Vedas, I think now you will start understanding it. How can the all-knowing Vedas again recommend sense enjoyments to people who, the people, ignorant of their true well-being. They are so ignorant of their true well-being. These people, they are so ignorant of their true well-being, they think acquiring properties, getting money, getting a wife or a husband, getting married, having children, oh, that I missed out, sorry. To have children, you should go and do this. Very good. To have money, good job, money in the bank, want a good house. Vastu has to be perfect. Yeah, the Agni Mula and the Ishani Mula, everything has to be so perfect. It's written in the Vedas. Who is the one who is misinterpreting it? You. Because you are the biggest ignorant duffer in the world. Because you think the Vedas are speaking that. Did I not tell you that Krishna is now going to twist the whole thing around? Listen to it. It's very important to listen to it. It is your interpretation. Ask yourself this question. Has your guru, your spiritual master, interpreted it that way for you? No. Krishna is the spiritual master of Uddhava. Do you get what I'm saying? Krishna is the spiritual master of Uddhava. Why would he tell Uddhava to go and follow those things which are written literally? So he is correcting him and saying, like an ignorant dolt, an idiot, don't follow those things the way it is written. Because ignorant of their true well-being, wander in the path of enjoyment only to enter deeper gloom. So anybody who is interested in getting married, wanting a property, wanting a proper life, wanting his, house to be rectified, wants money, wants happiness and joy, do you really think that is going to happen? You're going to enter a deeper gloom. I will tell you now deeper gloom. The person who thought, I want to get married, 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 the same idiot today is thinking, I want to get divorced. I wish I can run away from this woman, or the woman thinks, I just wish this guy dies. Every day they think of murdering each other. Every day they are thinking of, why the hell did I get married? Well, to get married might be till the age of 25, 30, 35 at the most. 1 year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, 10 years later, really don't want to see each other's face. You don't believe in me? And we are back. So, if you want to think, that I am telling some nonsense, go and look at your own parents. Go and look at all the relatives in your life. Every time when you meet your best friend also, if you are not married, they will look at you and they will say, you should get married. And then quietly they will say, you are the happiest guy. I can tell you, never get married. I have people in my world who have not got married, by the way. And these guys, I'm not talking about any woman, I'm talking about a man. Every time when he meets his married friends, the married friend says, you should get married, you should get married. In front of the wife, the person will say, you should get married. And when the wife is not there, the same man will turn around and never get married. Don't ever fall into this trap. Look at me, look at my condition. Even the money that I get is not sufficient. My wife is like this, my children are like that, my house is a problem, this is having a problem, that is having a problem. The same problem is there. And when you meet the wife separately, the wife says, you have done a good thing, never get married, I tell you. This life is a misery. Every time I just think I will divorce this fellow. But my children are there now, I have to hold on to him. What to do? Poor me. So this is the condition. And here he says exactly that. The same person who was asking for all these benefits, and which the Vedas, according to him, and according to all those fellows, who have told him to do all the prayers. Remember? When you had some kind of a dosha, dosha means the defect in the system. You have done so many parihars, you going to this temple, going to that temple, doing this, that, so many things. You go and cut one goat also, of course. You will do all that also. And that parihar is there. And then you thought, I will be safe. And now you are at a point in life when you say, what safe man? I am the worst creature on earth today. I thought this house which I was staying in, I did the correction. I bought that fellow, I gave him so much of money. And he told me I should hang something over there in that corner. I should do something in that corner. I changed the direction of my front door also for Vastu purpose. And I put this in the ground, some kind of magical mantras and stuff like that. I put it in the ground. I went to that place and I did this. I spent lakh of rupees. I said, spent 2 lakh rupees just to change the door. And nothing has changed, by the way. I am still a miserable person, and this house is literally coming to eat me. Because this house has become a pain in the whatever. Because you see, when I took the house, there was nobody around me. Today, it's become a jungle. Nobody wants to buy my house also. And my house is old, you know that. And this is where the whole problem is. Krishna is saying, who told you to misinterpret the Vedas? And who told you to go running after these idiots? They are telling you we can do this correction and that correction. They changed your name also, by the way. Instead of ADITYA, you went and wrote AADITYA. Double A you put. Why? Because Aditya is no, Aditya is, that is a defective name. You let us put double A. And you did that. And did you like it? You're still the miserable person that you were. When you were 25, you were miserable, and now that you are 45, you are more miserable. This is exactly what Krishna is pointing out to. The misery and the deeper gloom that a person enters into, who submits to the guidance of the Vedas themselves. These are the idiots who submitted to the guidance of the Vedas, misinterpreting them to the core. Because nobody has ever told them that the Vedas are actually not speaking that. The true essence of the Vedas can never be understood by common men. No Panditji in this world will be able to tell you the exact meaning of the Vedas, because the Vedas are very, very deeper texts. You got what I'm saying? Only the divine himself can actually interpret the Vedas. You think a common man can go and interpret it? You see, in the Vedas it is written, do the Lakshmi Suktam, do this Suktam, that, this, that, so many things. And then you will get money, then you will get power, then you will get peace, then you get harmony in your life, your house will be flourishing, you're prosperous. All this is nonsense. Because interpretation is wrong. The Vedas are a codex. It's a codice. You know what a codex is? It's a secret. It is not meant for average, ordinary human beings to understand. You will only look at it and think that the Vedas are talking that I should have good house, I should have a good wife, and I should get married, I should settle down. Spirituality doesn't teach that. The true Vedas never speak in that kind of a terminology. This is what Krishna is talking about. You think Krishna is a fool to tell you this? He is the one who has written the Vedas, isn't it? It is the God Almighty who has written the Vedas. And here is God Almighty who is telling you, I will read the verse again for your benefit so that you understand the truth in it. How can the all-knowing Vedas, he's questioning it, how can the all-knowing Vedas again recommend sense enjoyment to people? All these things that you thought is the enjoyment, I want to have happiness, I want to have joy, I want to have peace, prosperity in my house, good job, good money, I want a good wife, I want a good husband, I want children. Isn't that what is called sense enjoyment? How can the Vedas recommend sense enjoyment to people? These people who are ignorant of their true well-being. They do not understand the truth in this. They wander in the path of enjoyment only to enter deeper gloom. Every time when you want this enjoyment for yourself, you're going to go further into the depth of the morass, the gutters. Every time when you think that this is what my happiness is, that is where you're going to go. Only to enter the deepest gloom, the deeper glooms that are there. And who submits to the guidance of the Vedas themselves? And who submits to the guidance of the Vedas? You think the Vedas are guiding you like this, and that is wrong. So we will do the next verse. I'm sure by now you have got a shock of your life. Is that what the Vedas are talking about? I am reading what Krishna is telling you. This is not my own interpretation or some kind of a nonsense. Krishna is telling you this. So let us move to the next verse. This is chapter 16, verse 26 from the Uddhav Gita. Certain fools, not knowing the trend of the Vedas, speak of the flowery description in them of the fruits of work as all in all, but the real knowers of the Vedas do not say like that. So here Krishna is himself telling that there are those foolish idiots in this world. They think the Vedas are talking like this. Certain fools, he's actually calling them fools. Mood, idiots, stupid people. They think the Vedas, not knowing the trend of the Vedas, not knowing, actually they don't understand what is written. They misinterpret. Yesterday also I heard one person say, father and mother are greater than God. My dear, who has told you that? It is written in the Vedas. What? In the Vedas it is written. Father and mother are the greater than God Almighty and even your Guru. I did not know that. These are the same father and mother, you want to murder them. Isn't that true? And this same father and mother are telling every day to someone, this person doesn't take care of me. Nowadays he's got married. Nowadays he's settled down somewhere. Nowadays he's doing like this. She's doing like this, that. And they keep on telling all the relatives in the world how bad they are treated by their own children. After the children have gone, okay, but initially they were very nice. माता पिता भगवान के जैसे होते आ रहे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है. किसने बोला है? वेदा में लिखा है ना. It is written in the Vedas. But boss, that is the misinterpretation of the Vedas. Every foolish person, that is why he is starting the sentence, certain fools. He's not calling everybody a fool. Certain fools, not knowing the trend of the Vedas, they really don't know the trend of the Vedas, speak of the flowery description in them of the fruits of the work as all in all, the fruits of the work. If you do this kind of a prayer, it is written in the Vedas, if you do this, you will get prosperity. You will have peace and happiness. Graha mein shanti aayegi. What shanti? Is your house shanti? Or is it ashanti? You are full of ashanti in your life. Whoever has done all these prayers, go and ask them. Go up to all these fellows, who have done all the puja parts from the Vedas. Go and ask them, how many times in life have they done the same puja and have they got shanti in their life? They are at the end of their tether. They are literally half in grave. And they were, what shanti? I tell you, I did so many things. These are the same fools who will tell you that after following the Vedas literally, because there are some people, some foolish people who misinterpret it and told us this thing, and because of that I followed those fellows, and because of that today what has happened? I am gone into a deeper gloom, right? But the real knower of the Vedas do not say like that. The real knower of the Vedas, who are the knower of the Vedas? The knower of truth. Who is the knower of truth? The knower of truth is the enlightened being, is the spiritual master, is the perfectionist who is there in some people's life. This spiritual master is actually the knower of the Vedas, and he is never going to interpret it like that for you. On the contrary, he will tell you, get out of all these desires. And did I not tell you that Krishna is the one, his words are very difficult to understand. Now you understood? In Vedas, something is written, but in reality, it is something completely different. The truth is different. So those who come to me and ask me things, Guruji, I want children. Of course you should have children. You should enjoy your life. I want to get married. Please get married. Please. This is a very good person for you. This man is the worst, the best person. Oh, not worst, sorry. The best person in the world. And this girl, wow, she is the best one for you. That girl has suicidal tendencies. But still, he's telling, get married. Why? You think this is what the gurus do? There is always a way to find out which is the best. Do you know if there is gold, the gold has to be first shoved into hot fire to test whether the gold really stands or no. If it is not gold, no, it will go away. But if it is gold, after it has eaten the fire, it becomes very, very powerful. It becomes shining. The way of the Guru's words are very, very strange. He talks in some weird language. Krishna talks in very weird languages. He will tell you, go get into the gutters. Please do it. You have to do. It is written, no? It's your bounden duty. You have to do this. It is not a bounden duty, you stupid fellow. Your duty is towards the father and the mother. Father in heaven. He is not talking of an average father. That average father is used just like a guinea pig. Average father and average mother. That means your father and mother are used like guinea pigs. In your next life, do you think you are going to get the same parents or what? Or in your past life, you had the same parents? I want you to think about this. If you believe in the cycle of rebirths, no? Ask yourself this question. Were these the same parents that you got in your last life? No. But in the last life, you were a donkey. And in the next life, you will become a monkey. They were giraffe. A giraffe can't have a donkey as their son, no? See? You got the understanding or no? Or still you want a little bit of knocks on your head? These are parents only for this life. Okay, recycled plastic. The plastic comes from some, company. The small round things that are there. That is the raw plastic. It goes to some molding company. There it gets molded in something. Okay, it gets molded in nice dabbas, maybe. After the dabbas are recycled, they completely destroyed. Then they are sent to another company. So this time your molding company was maybe some XYZ. Next time it is not going to be XYZ, it is going to be ABC. So you can't call the molding company your father and mother, no, because it gave you shape. Body is a shape. Or the bottled water. Today you are called by one name and tomorrow you will be called by another name. That is not the way. That is misinterpreting the Vedas. So don't ever do that. So go to a person who interprets it correctly for you. He shows you the path. The path is so very important. The path is towards liberation. Never fall for all these things. They will say, I get every year I get a message. Every year I get these messages, My son is sick, my daughter is sick, my this one is sick and my that one is sick. I'm just asking for your blessing. Or I am ill, I have fallen down, I've broken my head, I've broken my hands, I've broken my legs, I'm not feeling well. Please take care of me. My parents are not well, this one is not well, that one is dying, this is happening, that is happening. I don't have a job, I don't have money, I don't have this. Every year the same issue will come up and they will expect, the Guruji to say, all right, things will be fine. And I am definitely going to say the same word. Very good. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Well, it is your karma, sir. It is your karma. You have to go through these gutters because of your karma. Before this, I was just listening to something, There is a person. Yesterday also I told you something about Lahiri Mahasaya. Today also one small 1 minute story. Lahiri Mahasaya is going on the road and there is a disciple of his. The disciple is walking ahead. Suddenly he tells the disciple, you will have to cut your dhoti, tear your dhoti, tear your dhoti. Now this fellow looks behind and says, tear my dhoti? What do you mean by tear my dhoti? He doesn't understand. Okay, I don't understand. And as he moves ahead, one brick comes and falls on his leg. Dhapak! And his leg starts bleeding. He has to immediately tear the dhoti of his and tie that thing, So he turns towards Lahiri Mahasaya and says, if you knew that this brick was going to fall and I'm going to get hurt, why didn't you save me from that? Lahiri Mahasaya says, that is your karma. The karma was supposed to happen. That brick was supposed to fall. The only thing which the Guru does is he cushions it. It just gave a small, that little thing to your leg. If it would have happened to fall on your head, you would be lying in the hospital and maybe you would have lost your senses also. So the only way of understanding how this karma works, only the Gurus know better. So they will tell you to go through some small trouble only. 90% of the trouble they will remove it out. So the Guru's interpretation of the Vedas is different than the material worldly self-centered people who want to make money out of you. Their interpretation is going to be different. They will tell you how many pujas you have to do, how you have to get rich, how you have to become this, how you have to become that, do so many parihars, do so much things. This is the verse which is telling you that. And you are the fools who get trapped into this. I will read this verse and then I will end this. Certain fools, not knowing the trend of the Vedas, speak of the flowery description in them of the fruit of work in all as all in all. But the real knowers of the Vedas do not say like that. So the real interpretation of the Vedas should be known by you. And if you really want to know the real interpretation of the Vedas, your spiritual master is the right person to give you. Go catch hold of his feet. Entreat him. He will tell you the real meaning of the words. But in the material world, you will be told, शिव जी को प्रे करो, इसको प्रे करो, उसको प्रे करो, इधर जाओ, उधर जाओ, हिमालय चढ़ के जाओ. Okay? If your father is sick, your mother is sick, do this, do that. So many things they will tell you. Vedas. Because that is basically the flowery description. It's written, you have to get married, so you get married. But that is not the real description. So the knowers of Vedas will not say like that. So we will stop over here. And I am sure by now you have really been intrigued by what I said. So take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead. And I will see you all on Tuesday morning. Bye. Take care.